about that, people. The review on the Bolt with an infrared lamp. Look like a demon. A little bit, though. Anyway, if I was to swiftly turn this infrared lamp away for a second, I'm going to do a review on the Bolt RDA. Alright? A bunch of fucking absolute slags. Throwing their fucking slag bags out there. This guy's back on a decent thing. Like my vintage. That's good enough for me. Pretty much same colour. As I see, what's like with you? So I've got waste of time. Not too bad. Don't know what it was with that other filter. Definitely showing up some defects. Which I suppose everyone has. Deep down. Anyway, without getting into too much technical details about people's mentalities. I would really like to do mine. Sorry, I'll turn that way again. Fucking hot. Hot, warms up the room. Don't even use the heating. That's all. And as you notice, I'm not playing music. Just been sidetracked by someone. Don't worry about it. And yeah. Anyway, not very good light, is it really? That red light just sucks other light out of the room for some reason. Turn it off. Sorry about this, people. Wasting your time. Okay. Let's get on with this. Right. Now, folks, we have the Bolt RDA. Now, I was going to go into the details of how to set it all up and stuff, but I noticed that a few people, by their own means, have beat me to it online, and that's where I learned how to set this. I wouldn't say it's the easiest of ones to set up. Talking about RDAs, vapes, old school vapes, which used to come in these like pipe bombs. This is a rig, old school rig. Way on that. I love my copper pipes, man, especially when they're that thick. Fucking hell, weigh that in, get at least £4. You know, probably a bit more weighty. That's like a pipe bomb, yeah. There's no look, a little bit of giveaway if the battery does gas out, but if the battery gasses out in that, I used to be tight. Battery gasses out in that, you got yourself a pipe bomb in your hands, yeah. And when it goes extra hot, you have to throw it like a grenade. I'm not joking. That's the reason why these more up-to-date versions of vapes came into play, but they don't necessarily, they don't hit it like that. These things are straight through there. They don't fuck about with any computer microchip or anything, right? That there, and a battery, yes, like this. 18650 battery, so right in there, alright. Now, don't put this on. This is the adapter for the rig, because the rig used extra large screw-in adapters for its original setup over there. Over there somewhere. So the original setup was like that, big fat. These are used for vape, cloud blowing competitions, yeah. People fucking get together and try and set the fucking smoke alarms off. Excuse my swearing, by the way. It's a Saturday night, after all, and I'm doing a review on the Bolt. Apparently, one of the best RDAs available. Pretty much. But I'd say that the rig, much easier to set up. I will get to this in a short while. But yes, a rig, as in the original rig. So that would obviously just screw in there, yeah. But you do get an adapter, one of these things, yeah, for the screw in it. But don't screw it in when you got the battery in it, because it short circuits the battery. They don't give any warnings on these things, by the way. You run them, fucking unregulated, literally unregulated. They're possibly illegal at the moment. Well, not at the moment, but shops don't sell these things anymore anyway. This is old school vaping, right? So it's all about build your own. So, for instance, those guitar strings that I have, which are pretty old, I wouldn't use a tray off the bat. Like, even if you could burn the residue off. But give them a boil, and they'll be knackered anyway. Cut them up into little bits, and then do a wrap around a little post. Do a wrap around, and make what's known as a coil. See that? This is basically a guitar string. Yeah, it's a guitar string. What's this? Borderline A. There's all different gauges of these ones, anyway. A number of wraps. The more wraps, the more ohms, or the less ohms, depending which way you wrap it. I'm getting into the technical details of that, which I don't need to get into really, because I don't give a fucking shit. And I've got a big bag of whites, cotton candy, with it too, which is the premium cotton candy that you can get on the market. It's not like the shitty stuff you can get out of Tampax or pushing it, man. I've used cigarette butts as the wick, of which you need to use in these rebuildables. Now, I'm talking to people who know shit about this, yeah? So if anyone says, don't know what you're talking about, well, you better fucking either just button your lip, have a look at a couple of other RDA videos, preferably the Bolt one, and someone tells you how to properly fucking fuck about with it, and just shut your fucking mouth. That's it. Anyway, so I cut all this out, how to build it all up and shit. I built it, yeah. I got it on this pussy mod. You know this, I've got to say. So, I just put 2 coils in, but because it was such a pussy fucking wanker ass mod, not like the rig. I didn't want to test it out on the rig first of all, because I didn't want it to explode in my face. So I did put it on one of these things. It's pretty good. It does. You can actually check your ohmage and check how safe the rig is that you use, that you're burning. You're basically short circuiting the battery. It's going into that coil, which heats it up, much like a kettle does with water. And and heat the water, yeah? Albeit the kettle's a lot more safer because the element's insulated. So even if you were to put your hand inside a fucking kettle whilst it was on, you wouldn't get an electric shock because it's insulated. Now these things are not. Talking about these coils. Yeah? Talking about RDAs and the bolts. RDA, which apparently is one of the best. One of the best around at the moment. The bolt. Hope you can see that package. I've unboxed it. Couldn't be fucking wankered doing a video unboxing it, so not worth it here. Fucking absolute sluts. So I'm just dripping like half arsedly through the big fucking, that's called a chuff piece. Not a mouthpiece, that's a chuff hole, yeah? Where you fucking have to fucking give it a go. Fucking chuff it like a, chug it like a fucking dirty old chuffer, yeah? So anyway, plus, I've got to show you this. Okay, here we go. I was rather amazed. I thought it was a screw off, first of all. I didn't like the RDA itself was screw by screw, because the instruction manual, which I've lost, with a small writing on it. I didn't, but it's a pull off. There you go. Oh, dripping, baby. That's off 43 watts, not bad. Now this thing, unregulated, with a fully charged one of these dirty fucking slags. I was going to say an SM58 then, but it's an 18650 battery. Nothing to do with microphones. And one of these dirty old fucking, yeah, even though it's not the best mate. Where's the other one? Oh, it's actually in there. Not fully charged as much of that. This one's actually quite dangerous to put on that one because it's got a nipple on it. Best to get the flat ones. Sometimes a file, you're not supposed to do this, but a file off, using a grinder, file off the nipple, a bit flat, so it doesn't explode. Normally, you would get, what's good to put in the rigs is a flat top positive, like this. You can see, just flat top. You can get these out of most laptops actually. Laptops, loads of things. You get an old laptop, you can get loads of these. They're not particularly this great. They're always red colour, the generic. They're like these, or red or green. I'm sure I've got that out of a laptop. But you can just fucking give them a good blast, give them a good charge, yeah. Charger. And obviously checking them now and again. I'd be there in the same room if I was you. Because obviously they can heat up quite quickly if they're malfunctioning. And you will need to do a bit of fancy footwork because you're not going to be picking it up. As I've done many a time with batteries, I'm better at dribbling 18650s than I am a fucking football. Because I can dribble one of these down the hallway whilst it's gassing out. That means going white hot, ready to explode. Well, not explode because they call it gassing out now, but it does go. It's called overrun or something like that, where the cells react so much it just becomes it goes over the hill and it cannot. There's no going back, basically. That thing's going to get so hot it's just going to get frazzled into a carbon mess. When this happens, you need to get it out of your house quick as you can. Whether that be dribbling it, you're not going to pick it up unless you're a stupid fucker. Because normally it's in your hand when it happens. And you let go. And it's on the floor going, and then you got to dribble it down the hallway, do all this shit, right? So that's with a flat nipple thinking. Huh? Now with this pussy fucking shitty mod that I got, even with this. Anyway, what I was going to say is with the unregulated one, right? Of course with these you can adjust the wattage of what's going into the coil. With the unregulated ones, like these dirty bitches, yeah? Old school, when you put a fresh battery in, fully charged, overcharged, I'd say, up to about 4.5 volts, pushing 4.7, you know what I mean, if you overcharge. Whack one of them in here, upside down maybe, possibly upside down, doesn't really matter with these, because they're unregulated, and they don't give a shit what polarity goes, which way. Doesn't say, sorry, put the battery in the wrong way. Not going to work now. Like these do, because they've got a computer in them. These are raw. So, when I was I'm saying a fully charged battery in one of these, a coil setup, sometimes I would have to have dual coils. Well, most of the time, dual coils I also have, because one coil just fucking burn out straight away. Well, you know, unless you've got a pretty heavy duty guitar string, like a bass string or something like that, coiling around there. So yeah, I've just got one in this at the moment. I did put two in it, but this pussy ass mod wouldn't be able to handle it. But I just wanted to test the integrity of the build itself. So I drip a little bit onto the coil. But I've only used one coil there. I'm only going halfway at the moment. So what we're on. I'll have to turn it back on. Fucking prick, you know. Oh yeah, it's back out there. So it's come back on. Tells me so we're at right. We're at 0.4, so a sub ohm, 0.4 ohms for that particular coil. It's at 43 watts. 43 watts. Now with this, I'm saying you'd get upwards of a decent battery, 180 watts, pushing it, if not 100 watts, full on. That button there pushes the battery up and hits the terminals. That's what I'm saying, there's no computer involved. It's brilliant. It's brilliant actually, because you don't need, once you get a rig, you can make these things out of guitar strings, yeah. And this white candy that I've got, cotton candy, real cotton candy. It's actually cotton, organic cotton candy. Like I said, you can use fucking anything really, as long as it wicks up. With the cotton candy, if it does go dry, you don't get too much of a fucking nasty burn on it, yeah? Even though it's still quite nasty. But if you use like shit like fucking shoelaces and stuff like that, as long as it wicks, it's alright. When they run out of juice, you get like a nasty plasticky vibe off it. Anyway, so what this does now at 43. Ooh. That's one coil. Shit me, man. That's be reload that. That's one coil on that. Amazing, isn't it, really? So how many reactors is uploaded? Trying to put me off. Or a comment. So let's put this. Someone commented on how many reactor. It's a slot on, albeit very tight, I've got to say. And there's several air hole malarkey. If you can puff through it, then it can work, yeah. Let's work with this now. 43. Start turning up a bit. I can maybe even turn it down. There we go. And I put it to the date I was born, 28. Let's check out 28 watts. Not too bad. Nothing like the rig, really. Let's whack this bitch up right to the top. 80 watts. It's getting a bit more like the rig, isn't it? Ooh. Notice I didn't take as long to drag it. Nice. That's a taste monger, that. That's a proper tasty fucking... You know what I mean? Coiled. Only one coil. That is nice. What did I say? That coil there. Oh well. You have to reload every now and again. Possibly every time you use it. That's why they are a bit messy. That's the right reason why these things are coming. New ones, yeah. By the way, it's one of the best pocket mods on the scene, which doesn't really burn out loads of disposable ones, which I can't believe the amount of waste. And I'll show you another time, but with these you get a little bit of waste. Probably broken now. Get a little bit of waste. And that's it, really, the pod. Not as much, so that is your, is yours to keep forever. And it tastes like shit. It does, crap. Nasty, man. I don't know whether I'm using the wrong coil, but it's all configured with a silly computer. Bit like this, though, really. But when you got this on a rig, and there's 2 coils in there, imagine. And it's about 150 watts. This is going at 80 watts, fair play, 80 watts. I'll have to reload it before I even do it, right? Lucky there's no nicotine in this liquid, and that must be looking green as that toad from Toad Hall. From Wind in the Whispers. Wind in the Willows. Yeah, give up. That's because it's got the computer on it. It tells you not to fucking puff too much. With it, one of these unregulated ones, fucking dirty and nasty. So I'm gonna do that because it doesn't tell you to fucking stop it or anything like this. It doesn't even tell you if you're doing it wrong. That's the reason why they're quite dangerous, I guess. That's the reason why they're not being sold anymore on the market. Well, you can still buy them, cheap ones, you know what I mean? Cheap knockoffs. But this is the one I smashed fucking Loveday's door in that time. When I went down there and smashed his door. It was one of these. Bashed it in. Well, bashed 2 of the panes of glass. of stained glass. So it wasn't quite as mad as people are smashing his windows and shit. Look it up. A couple of panes of glass. Didn't get changed at the wrong time. Till it actually cough up half the cash. That's another story, I guess. There's already been written about this. So look what these fucking air holes do. That's a mango lassie. I'm using it at the moment. A mango lassie. A couple of others, man. I better set off the smoke alarms. That's just one coil. Can't imagine. Well, I can imagine. It'd be like with 2 coils. Double. 1 add 1 equals 2. So, see the amount of fucking puffability on this now. At 80 watts. Imagine this. Dirty little slutty bitch. Rocking at 120 watts without any computer to tell you to stop vaping. You just gotta watch out through the thick copper pipe when it gets too warm in your hands to maybe put it down there and slowly walk away. Don't run away like a fucking pussy. Slowly walk away. I hope to God it don't blow up. What's in your vicinity? To stop working on it. Battery low. That's one thing. Another thing with those rigs, it doesn't tell you if the battery's low, so you can actually downcharge, because this battery has still got 3.5 volts in it. Otherwise it'd be shagged. It's a lithium battery, so their point of operation is between 3.5 and 4.5. I bet that's gone to about 3.2. Let's have a look. I wouldn't be surprised if that was 3.3 or something like this. Let's have a look. It doesn't really matter, because I don't give a shit what end it goes on. Maybe you're supposed to put the red one on the red end. But it doesn't really matter with this. It'll just show you the minus. It'll show you the number anyway. What does that say? 3.3. 3.38. So yeah, they cut off about 3.3. But if you were in a rig, it would just let you puff until the battery's going to die on you. And also, when these go low, lithium batteries will become unstable, and they can blow up then as well, as in explode then too as well. So using a rig like this, it's known as a rig. It's one of the original ones. I buffed it so many times that the actual, it did have like a pylon rig engraved into it at one point. But I buffed it on my buffing machine so much to get the nice shiny, it's got a bit matte again, but you can get this up to a nice shine. When you go down the nearest puff contest, they do a back-to-back puffing competitions in Levenshulme, as they do in many places, I guess. But I need a fee. Yeah, I got into vaping well before anyone did, really. Got everyone else into vaping. I think actually one person who showed us was Herbal Hellion, but it was on like his little mini little what's the name of that one? Like one of those shit fucking wicked ones. These are wicked. Because they are quite dangerous. So you put that on the top. You actually don't need the adapter on this. You don't need the adapter. It's wasting your time now, so I don't care. I was going to say Friday now, but it could be Friday, could be Saturday. Gives a shit. It's actually Saturday. There you go. So that rig's on there now, with a battery in there. There's a coil set up in there as well. That coil's not been used for a long while. So let's put this in there, just for test. Right? Doesn't matter which way you put it in, because it don't give a shit. No computer to tell you. carrying around. Sometimes you have to put it in that way because it's so dangerous. You can't even fucking screw the fucker in. Okay, sometimes when you screw it in, it starts going off straight away. Fuck hell. I need to shave some bit up. I'll come back another time about that. Anyway, that was a review on the bolts. Yeah, bolts. RDA. Just using one coil. That mod's giving it me now because it's a fucking wank stain. And I will do my best to get a battery fully charged as possible. Even managed to squeeze another coil in that. Like I said, there's only one coil. Only one coil at the moment, which are basically guitar strings. They call them clapham coils, but could be fucking Jimi Hendrix coils, whatever. They call them alien coils as well. Bits of fucking bits of wire. Elements. It's an element. Elemental, my friend. Elemental. Quite wiry and literally elemental. Anyway, I tossed that away that because I'm going to whack that in there later on. Already one in there. There's one in there already. And let's have a look to see how. See the power on this. This is a bit of shit. I've got to say the blue ones, these, I don't waste time anymore. I don't care. 390. You might be able to get away with having a slight puff on this. I'm not sure because you might say, "Sorry, your battery's too low." Stop it now. Come on, you know, Let's come on. See what happens now. It's very messy, this. My hands are absolutely lubed to the maximum. Good for you. Good for your skin. So look at this now. Look at that. It won't even give it 80. Let's bring it down to something a bit more reasonable. Let's put it at 44, eh? Why not? For old time's sake. See, even at 44, that battery, even though it had more charge in it than this one is one of the best you can get for vaping on RDAs, because these ones, which you get at generic computers, laptops, anything like that, you can probably get about one vape out of them before you have to chuck them away. Some of them do explode. Lucky enough, these I've got outlets these days. They've got like vents in them. You can vent. You just got to throw the thing into a corner until it vents out. Possibly get out of the room as well, because there's lots of toxic gases and shit. But like I said, with one of these, when it's fully sealed, I should get some proper seals in it, so it's proper sealed. You can actually get that vent out there. But when they're sealed up at the bottom, you can't get any blow out of it, and it's sealed at the top as well. You got yourself a fucking one of those things, 4-letter word things, which end with the same letter, and they're both B, called B, with an O and an M, in the middle. One of those things in your hand. And it's a pipe, copper. Every two, like I said, you can smash windows with this. Smash it way out of the car if it's sinking. Always handy, you know. If you're in an emergency situation, you need to smash the window, whatever window. just one of these. Or even a circumstance where you're unfortunate enough to involve some other person who wants to harm you on the street. Better than any knife, that is. Let's get one of them out. Pop them right in the fucking temple. Dead.